Hello, welcome back, guys. We are back with a brand new chapter of our novel Obsession, chapter number 12. Let's begin. Tabitha waited outside the largest iron gate of the mansion. She wore a black t shirt, ripped jeans, and a brown leather jacket over her t shirt. Not just any jacket, but Damien's jacket. The blissful night had passed, and the depressing morning had come as an indication of their painful separation. She wiped away the lone tear that escaped her eye. She hated mornings because they always separated her from her savior, but they were helpless against the truth of who they were. She was the mafia princess of the Russians, and he was the second in command of the Italian mafia. In their world, they were passionate lovers, but in the mafia world, they were enemies. The gate to the enormous mansion opened as the guards noticed her black G Wagon. After parking the car and taking her phone and gun from the passenger seat, she made her way inside the mansion. Her step carried confidence and power. Her ginger hair flowed as she made her way towards the living room, where she knew her family must have been waiting for her. And not to disappoint her, they were all present. Her father, the leader of the Russian mafia, Nikolai Volkov, sat on the head chair placed in the middle of the hall with one of his sluts sitting on his lap and sucking his neck. Tabitha fought the urge to puke while looking at the scene in front of her. To her father's left sat her mother, Alina Volkov, her hateful gaze fixed on the woman who was practically grinding on her husband's lap. To her father's right sat her only brother and the sole heir of Russian mafia, Ivan Volkov, who was talking with their father more like nodding his head at whatever Nikolai was saying. Tabitha stood in front of them, and her father immediately pushed the slut from his lap and stopped the conversation he was having with Ivan. An evil grin spread across his face upon seeing her. Here comes Damien's little slut, Nikolai said in a mocking tone, making her clench her fist behind her back. Not good to hear coming from a man whore like you, father, she retorted with a tight-lipped smile. Shut up, bitch. It won't take me a minute to kill that lover boy of yours, Nikolai said, gritting his teeth and making her gulp in fear. Tabitha had been tortured by him since childhood, so she was never worried about her own life, but she loved Damien more than herself and wouldn't let anything happen to him. Nikolai knew this very well, which is why he threatened to kill Damien to keep her under his control. Tell me about the new information about the Ashwins, Nikolai asked, his greed to destroy them easily detected in his eyes. Lucas Ashwin is a married man now, Tabitha said, shocking everyone in the room. The biggest mafia leader in the world was married? But to whom? Which mafia princess? Alina asked curiously. She is not related to the mafia world. He married a normal girl from India, actually, kidnapped her and forcefully married her, Tabitha said with no emotion in her words. But inside, she was murdering herself for the hundredth time because she was betraying the only man she truly loved. Damien had shared how Lucas went to India and met Eva and how he married her with Tabitha after she asked about them. But he didn't know that she would be passing all the information to her father. So the devil has an angel now. Interesting. Nikolai said, an amused glint in his eyes after filling him in on the new information about the Ashwin family. He dismissed her to her room, where new torture awaited her. He didn't want her to listen to what they talked about because, as much as she was his daughter, He knew she loved his rival more than she showed. He didn't want to take any risks now that he had found the perfect opportunity to bring the devil down. The devil turned the city upside down just because his wife went missing for an hour. I wonder what will happen when something happens to her. I wonder what he will do if I take her from him. Will he beg on his knees in front of me? Or will he hand over his mafia empire to me? Nikolai said excitedly, as if he were thinking about the possibilities of capturing the pretty wife of the devil. What are you suggesting, father? Ivan asked. He had been silent the whole time, processing the new information. Lucas has been his biggest enemy since he started to breathe in this world. Now that he heard that Lucas had found a wife for himself, Ivan was wondering what she was like. He wanted to see what had captured the eyes of the devil. Didn't you hear what she just said? Lucas Aswin not only found his vice but his biggest weakness. Let him enjoy his days before it turns into a filthy nightmare for him. All we have to do now is wait. Wait for an opportunity to snatch the beauty from the beast. Then the years long enmity will end as I destroy each and every Ashwin from the face of the earth. Nikolai said, laughing at his evil plans. He was right that the devil had a weakness now, but what he didn't know was the devil's obsession with his darling. If someone ever tried to touch or even breathe the same air as her with foul intentions, that would be their last day on earth. He would personally grant them the slowest and most painful death because he would annihilate the world for his wife. Har Har Mahadev chanted a little girl around 6 years old as she sat in the corner of the large Shiv Mandir admiring the couple performing the arti in front of the Shivling. She couldn't make out the faces because they were standing with their backs to her. The woman wore a red sari and the man wore a white kurta and pajamas. He gently placed the end of her sari back on her head as it slipped off repeatedly. The couple smiled at each other. Suddenly, they turned toward the little girl. The woman looked just like me, with brown skin and the same smile, but she had black hair and black eyes. Shivani, come here for Aarti, the woman called. Shivani, I thought. Shivi, beta kya hua? Idhar aao, the man said, making me look at him. He also smiled at the little girl, and to my surprise, he had the same brown eyes as mine. They were strangers to me, yet they felt familiar. Shivi, what happened, child? Come here. Shivi, come on, beta, we have to go to your uncle's house, the woman said. The little girl Shivi stood up from where she was sitting and was about to take a step towards them when I heard a sudden sound. I looked back to find nothing but an empty one there. Shrugging, I turned to look at the couple and felt the earth slip beneath mine. They lay in a pool of their own blood, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. Their hands were linked together. The arti thal was scattered around the floor beside their lifeless bodies. Shivi ran towards them, her feet covered in their blood. She knelt down beside the woman. Mama, Mama, open your eyes. Shivi called, but she didn't respond. Shivi then patted the man's shoulder, tears flowing continuously from her eyes. Papa, Papa, wake up, Papa, she cried, calling their names, begging for help, but no one came. Suddenly, I felt someone standing behind the girl. It's time to say goodbye, the person said, chuckling, and hit the little girl with an iron rod, making her fall onto the arms of the dead bodies. No! I screamed. Darling, I heard a faint voice. Amar! The sound started getting clearer and more audible. Darling, wake up. I felt someone shaking me vigorously. Fuck. The voice cursed while stroking my hair. Darling, wake up. The voice was clear now, and I knew the owner. I opened my eyes suddenly and was met with the worried face of my husband, his blue eyes close to mine. I looked into his worried eyes before pushing him aside and sitting up abruptly. I looked around and found I was back in my luxurious cage. Suddenly, everything that had happened crashed upon me. Angelina and I went shopping. I ran away from there. An unknown place, unknown people, the dark alley, the drunken man, me running for my life, fear of death, blue eyes, and the hug. What the hell did I do? Did I did I really hug him? I pulled my hair in frustration. The dream. Who were they? The woman looked just like me. The man had the same eyes as mine. What about the little girl Shivani? Did she also die? Who was the stranger that hit the girl? What was this weird dream about? Even if it was just a dream, it felt real. I pulled my hair again in frustration with everything happening to me. But I couldn't pull as I felt a rough hand stopping mine. He very slowly detangled my hair from my hand before placing my hands at my sides. He then went behind me and started doing something. I looked at the mirror in the corner of the room and found him braiding my hair. What is he doing? Why is he doing this? I was so lost looking at the mirror that I didn't notice him finishing the braid or sitting beside me. I didn't even realize I was crying until he wiped my tears. I didn't look up at him, expecting the verbal and physical abuse that was about to come because I tried to run away. I clutched the blanket tightly in fear. Instead of shouting at me, I heard him ask, "Why are you crying, darling?" His voice was soft, just like it sounded when he found me earlier. I didn't reply, but looked up at him only to find his ocean blue eyes filled with worry for me. Not an ounce of anger or hate in them. The door to the room suddenly opened, and his family entered with worried looks on their faces. Angelina and Ariana looked concerned, but the other two men remained expressionless. I heard my husband mutter something under his breath. My attention went back to the people as I saw Angelina coming towards me. I expected her to shout at me for how I fooled her, but to my utter surprise, she hugged me tightly. I thought something bad happened to you. I was worried, sweetie, she said while hugging me tightly. I didn't hug back because of the shock. She broke the hug and asked, "Are you okay now? The fever is gone?" I was worried sick when I didn't find you at the boutique. But I'm happy you are fine, sweetie, she said while placing her hand on my forehead to check for fever. Smiling when she realized I was fine, Ariana sat on the other side of the bed beside me. "We were so worried, but I'm glad you're okay," she said before placing a motherly kiss on my forehead. What a weird family this is. Why are they worried for me when I tried to run away? They should be shouting at me now. Instead, they're happy I'm okay. Is this how they are, or are they trying to deceive me with their fake concern? The monster closed the door after everyone left the room. Before leaving, Angelina and Ariana had given me a lecture on how I should take care of my health and rest. The monster then came back and sat beside me, where he had been sitting before everyone barged into the room. Calling him a monster might be a little rude since he saved me from the drunken man, but considering how he brought me here by threatening me, I can't settle for any less cruel name, a devil or a beast. They all mean the same. I looked at him, seeing amusement in his eyes. He looked cold, rude, and old. Should I settle for old man? Yeah, it might irritate him, which is a plus point. What the hell are you thinking, Eva? My subconscious mind screamed at my stupid thoughts. What are you thinking, darling? I heard Mr. Oldman ask. The looks too handsome for being called old, my subconscious mind said. I didn't answer him and looked down at my hands. That's when I noticed that I wasn't wearing the red gown anymore, but a white cotton salwar suit. Panic went through my mind as I thought about who changed my clothes. Was it him? It was Mama. I heard him say. Huh? I asked, confused. It was Mama who changed your clothes, he said, making my eyes go wide in surprise. How could he say that? Could he read minds? What is he? I'm just a human. But I can read your eyes, darling, he said, again shocking me with his answer. Then he did something that confused me about my whole existence. He handed me a phone, his phone. You can call whoever you want. I'll wait outside, he said before leaving me alone. I looked at the device in my hand and then at his retreating back. What the hell happened to the devil? So here our chapter number 12 ends and we will back with a brand new chapter tomorrow. Till then, subscribe, like, share and comment. Thank you. Bye-bye.